black men and women, Latino and Native American men and women. What do you, he said, well, he said, are the wandering spirit of dead family member who revisit their former homes on this day. Hold on. So I thought you were celebrating for your mother. No. It's a lot of evil spirit that were associated with this thing. It's a lot of evil spirit. It's a lot of evil spirit. Keep in mind, it's a lot of evil spirit. He said, the shade are acknowledged on the 3 days of the Lemura. Right? The other 2 days when the spirit are brought are 11 May and 13 May. So you keep that in mind. You got to keep that in mind. That what you doing? Who you doing that for? Who you doing that? Where in the Bible? Where in the Bible did the Most High ordain you, ye so-called blacks, Latino, and Native, the Most High give you the license to go ahead and celebrate Mother's Day and Father's Day? Where in the Bible? Just show me the proof, man. Is your mother above God? Is your father above God? Are you above God? Are you above Amashiach? So what you doing, man? What you doing? What you lunching about, man? Right? The brother got cut off. Jude got cut off quick. All right, let's see if the brother will come back. Let me see. I'm going to try to request the brother again. Let me see. Okay, request the brother again, man. Let me see. Yeah, the brother is there. Right? Let's continue. Right? He said, saying, how did this nation serve the God? Which God do they have? Idols. This nation have nothing else than idols. Right? Let's ask still the same thing. Let's ask them. Let's go right here. Okay. Okay. Actually, this woman, she trying to abolish this pagan day. He said, Javi spent the last year of her life trying to abolish the holiday she had brought into being. Huh. Watch this. Let's continue here. He said, thou shalt not do so unto the Lord thy Yahweh, right? Which he hated. Have they done unto the God, unto the idols, okay? For even the sons and the daughters, they are burned in the fire to the God. I just read you in this book right here, telling you that men 8 through 9, they're the spirit of the dead family member that come back and revisit the house. Hold on. Hold on. We don't want to deal with that. We don't want the spirit of any dead family member come. No, man. Right? I just read in the book right here. Same thing he said, well, for even the son and the daughter, they have burned in the fire to their God. We, what things soever I command you, observe to do it. So the Mosai said, remember the Shabbat day to keep it, man. The Mosai said, keep the Passover. Keep the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Keep the day of Hanukkah. Celebrate the day of Simon. The day of Simon is near, man. 23rd of the second month. We're in the second month already. Okay? So stop doing that weakness. You got to cut it loose, man. Right? Let's jump right here. Let's go in the book of Exodus. Let's prove one thing at a time. Let's go to Exodus chapter 23 and 32. Let's read it. This is the book of Exodus. Right? Exodus chapter 23. Right? And we're going to read from verse 32. Right? Exodus chapter 23 and verse 32. Thou shalt make no covenant with them. That's what the Mosai said, with the other nation. We can't celebrate Mother's Day. We can't celebrate Father's Day, birthday. We can't do that. That's for the heathen. Okay? He said, thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor with their God, nor with their idols. You can't do it. The Mosai said, don't do it. Okay? They shall not dwell in that land, lest they make this sin against me. There we go, man. Right? Shalom, shalom. Shalom says, all praise be unto the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Okar, Kodash, Shema, Hallelujah, Kwamisha. They shall not dwell in that land. The Most High said, we are not supposed to let them dwell in our land, lest they make this sin against me. The Most High said, if you let them live with you, they will bring you to sin against me. And that's what will happen. For if thou serve the God, it will surely be a snare unto thee. And that's what happened. What God do, our people serve. so-called blacks, so-called Latino and Native, what God do they serve? Christian God. And you serving Christian God, that's why they give you Mother's Day. That's why you worshiping idol. You worshiping what? Weakness and madness, man. What? Let's see what the Mosai say. He said, for if thou serve the God, for when we follow Islam and we follow Christianity, guess what? In Buddha or Buddhism, yoga, all this madness, foolishness that we follow, guess what? We're going to start to do weakness. He said, what? For if thou serve the God, the idols, okay, it will surely be a snare unto thee. There we go. So Christianity is a snare unto the so-called blacks, Latino, and Native Indian. Islam is a snare to the so-called blacks, Latino, and Native Indian. It's plain and simple. It's plain and simple. It's nothing hard to... You're going to tell me you don't understand this? It's plain, man. This is basic milk. All right? Let's go right here. Let's go in the book of Jeremiah. The Mosai won't ask me. This, listen, most Israelites, we go to this prison. That's the, listen, the easiest one. Even if you don't know anyone, let's go. And that was dealing with what, these verses I'm going to is dealing with Christmas. But we won't get into that. All right, let's go to Jeremiah chapter 10. And we're just going to read the first two verses. All right? Lord willing. Let's go. This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 10. Jeremiah chapter 10 and verses 1 through 2. He said, hear ye the word which the Lord spake unto you. Unto who? Unto the so-called blacks, Latino, and Native Indian. Unto the so-called African American, the so-called Jamaican, the so-called Haitian, the so-called, I'll say Nigerian, the so-called Ghanaian, the so-called Cameroonese, and the list goes on and on and on, man. Right? Let's read it. Say, Lord, he say, hear ye the word which the Lord spake unto you, O house of Israel. Who? O house of Israel. You got to stay in the spirit. O house of Israel. Did he say the house of the Christian? No. O house of Israel. The Israel, the Mosai is dealing with the Israelite. The Mosai Yahweh is dealing with the Israelite. Okay, those are his chosen one. And who are the Israelites? The so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indian. Based on your father, you belong to one of the 12 tribes. One of the 12 tribes. You belong to one of the 12 tribes. Okay, let's continue. He said, verses 2, Jeremiah 10 and 2, thus said the Lord, learn of the way of the heathen. You see, so if the Edomite woman, if the Chinese woman, the Arab woman, okay, if the Vietnamese woman, they want to celebrate Mother's Day, they can have it, they can celebrate. But we are not supposed to celebrate Mother's Day. We are not supposed to celebrate Father's Day, birthday, 4th of July. None of those things, man. The Mosai is against it, man. That's the spirit of Antichrist. If you celebrate Mother's Day and Father's Day, your birthday, that's the spirit of Antichrist, man. Nowhere in the Bible you can read that Christ celebrate his birthday, that Christ celebrate his Mother's Day, Father's Day, 4th of July. No, man. Amashiach, the one you call naively and ignorantly Jesus Christ, what did he celebrate? He celebrated what? Passover. Okay, he did not celebrate Easter. He celebrated Passover. Okay, he celebrated the feast of unleavened bread. He celebrated what? The Shabbat. He kept the high holy feast they do. Man, come on, man. Let's continue. He said, thus said the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the sign of heaven. For the heathen are dismayed at them. Because they're seduced, they're deceived, man. Because they don't have power, man. Let's go to Matthew 15 and 1 through 3. There's a book of Matthew, chapter 15, and verses 1 through 3. Let's bring it out quick. There's a book of Matthew, chapter 15, and verses 1 through 3. This is a book of Matthew, chapter 15, and verses 1 through 3. Then came to Yahushua scribes and Pharisees, which were of Jerusalem, saying, let's see what they say to Amashiach. Why do that disciple transgress the tradition of the elder? Now, you see, that's why I went and read Colossians 2, 6 through 8. Let no man deceive you. Okay, don't let no man fool you and deceive you. Who deceived the so-called blacks, Latino, and Native Indian and believing that they got to celebrate Mother's Day? Who deceived you? The Christian church. Because there's no truth in the Christian church. Because if there was a truth in the Christian church, guess what? They will have warned you. They will have told you, no, you can't do that because it goes against the Bible. Now, we know some of them are exposing here and there, but we're speaking in general. Do they expose in the most Christian church? No. Who are the main ones celebrating Mother's Day today? Christian. And the number one, man. They're the number one celebrity doing that, man. Who is buying most of the flower? Who is buying most of these gifts? Oh, I love my mom. No, you don't love your mom. If you love your mom, go on Amazon online, buy for your mom a good, nice, decent KJV study Bible. I'm going to repeat it again. If you love your mother, it has nothing to do with buying her flower, houses, nothing to do with that. You buying thing for your mom, you just honoring your mother. You honor her, right? In a great manner. Now, what is the main thing you got to do for your mother if you love your mother? What is the great thing you got to do for your father if you love your father? Grab for your father a decent Bible and show unto your father that he's an Israelite. Show unto your mother that he's an Israelite. She is not, or he's not a so-called black man or a so-called black woman, so-called Latino man, so-called Latina woman. None of those things, man. Tell them we the Israelite. That we the 12 tribes of Israel scattered throughout the full corner of this world because of our sin and our iniquity. Okay? That's how you love your father. That's how you love your mother. Okay? Grab them the Bible. Show them the way of the Most High. Show them the way of Amashiach. If you can't do it, have them subscribe to a camp. They can follow whatever camp they want to follow. It doesn't have to be me. They can follow any camp they want to. There is so many camps these days. On how on the byway, on all the social media. Plenty, tons of brothers and sisters doing the work every day without ceasing, man. That's what you got to do. If you love them. You buying her flower, all these things. That's nonsense. That's madness, man. That's Christianity. The Most High is not with them, man. Yahweh is not with it, man. And Mashiach is not with it, man. So you need to repent and wake up. You need to repent and wake up, man. All right? You need to repent and wake up. The Most High is not with it, man. Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, he's not with it, man. Let us continue. He said, why do thy disciples transgress the tradition of the elders? For they wash not their hand when they eat bread. And that's the thing that our people love to follow. Like right now in the world we're living in with all this going on, where you got to wash your hand, where don't do this, don't do that. No, man. It's not going to save you. The reason why you're scared and you think you got to wash your hand every minute, every second, because you ain't keeping God's commandment. How were you made? Okay. If you think that you're so valuable or you think that you're so holy, okay, how did the Most High made you? Didn't the Most High made you from the ground, from the dirt, from the dust? So what spirit is bumping you up? You feel like, well, I gotta wash my hand. I don't want no germs. I don't want no bacteria, blah, blah, blah. And you all cocky. You think that, yeah, I got my sanitizer. I gotta do this, blah, blah. Listen, man, I ain't going to save you, okay? You can sanitize your mouth all you want. You can sanitize your hand all you want. You can wash your hand all you want. Guess what? Ain't gonna stop the Most High for putting you to death. If the Most High want to put you to death any way the Most High want you, the Most High say do it. You can clean your hand, wash your hand all you. That's not part of the commandment. You know why the Most High will kill you? Because you ain't keeping the commandment. You don't believe in the Most High. Because you're doing evil in the street, on the highway, on the byway, man. You're doing wickedness, man. Alright? That's what we're reading right here. So the Pharisees came all of a sudden, they think they know something. How come they don't follow the tradition of the elder? No, man. Let's see what Amashiach told them. But he answered and said unto them, why do ye also transgress the commandment of Yahweh by your tradition? That's the question he asked them. Boom. They got cut to the spirit. Because they were not expecting him to answer them like that. He said, okay, why do you break the law of the commandment of the Most High? Using your vain traditions. You don't keep the Shabbat of the Most High. Most of our people, so-called blacks, Latino, and Native Indian, scattered throughout the fucking week, they don't keep the Shabbat of the Most High. The brother keeping the Shabbat in the high holy feasts of the Most High are those ones that the Most High have already woke up. Those ones that heard the message and they repent very fast. They repent very fast. They didn't put it for tomorrow, after tomorrow, next year. No, they repent very fast. And every day they continue, because every day we got to repent. Now, am I telling you to go sin and go back and pray? No. Like you improve. That's the point we're making. You got to be spiritual to understand what we're talking about. You have to improve. You can't, you got to grow up. You pray 1 time a day, you got to pray 3 times a day. You pray 3 times a day, maybe you go 4 times. You pray 4 times a day, maybe you go 5 times. And the list goes on and on. Let's say, for Yahweh commanded, saying, honor thy father and mother, and he that curse father or mother, let him die the death. Now, the word honor, if you go to Hebrew, is not literally talking about the way our people take it today. Honor, which means what? When your mother is in the need of maybe food, she needs some garment, she wants you to bring her into the store, she can grab some bread, or your mother is a little bit sick, she needs some help. That's what the Most High is talking about. You need to honor your mother, because that honor you when you were born, when you were a baby. She honor you. She took good care of you. That's the honor of the Most High talking about. That's the honor. Okay? Right? He said, but ye say, whosoever shall say to his father or his mother, it is a gift, but whatsoever thou mayest be profited by me. So at some point, our people, what will do, they got money. Because you got to understand the word honor, when Amashiach is going to it, don't get into it like I said, you got to go into Hebrew, right? And you look at what is the origin of that letter, right? When you go into it, a lot of our people, they will have money. Let's suppose they got $1,000 on themselves, right? Let's suppose they got $1,000. Then the mother called them, the mother said,